Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Love People, a podcast with Stephen Meeks and first return guest, first return event, Mr. Matt Sigmund. How's it going, my friend?
What's up? Man, it's good. It's good. I was telling you before we started recording, it's busy right now, right? Life's crazy. Both just personally wrestling, my main line focus job there in the healthcare world, and man, it's good. Busy and blessed. Like I tell
Awesome.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and just speaking of that, let's just kind of go right into the main point of discussion. Wrestle for the Kingdom, the sequel is
Yeah.
fast approaching, less than a month or a little over a month and a half away. I think it's February, right? We're just leaving
Yeah. We're
February into March right now. So
stepping into March. Yeah. It's
yeah,
true.
and so just tell me real quick, just run down what is Wrestling for the Kingdom.
Yeah, so last year, man, I was thinking about how wrestling has been so good to me over the years. I've been doing it 20 years now. So I got this idea after traveling and being able to pretty much go anywhere I've ever wanted to go and do and meet so many people. It hit me. God opened so many doors for me to do this crazy cool job, right? And when I first got into wrestling, um, that was one of my prayers, man. The Lord, just open doors, let me make the most of this, right? And He did. He came through with His part. But it hit me that I haven't made the most of it in terms of reaching people, right? And doing any sort of sharing the good news and just spreading the love of Jesus, right? And so that hit me pretty hard, especially after a few, deaths from friends of mine in the business and even close fans that I've met over the years that have been really good to me. And it hit me that not only, they passed away without me perhaps opening those doors, but I never even had a conversation around faith or what it looked like for them at all, right? And so I was like, whoa, something's got to change. And so last year, I was thinking about how I love wrestling seminars, right? And not necessarily seminars. I love camps. When I first broke in, it was you had Harley Race doing a week-long camp out in Alden, Missouri. Les Thatcher would do his wrestling elite training camps with Dr. Tom and Ricky Steamboat and guys like that. And there was a lot of really cool opportunities at the time to get together for a few days, right, and learn and grow. Now you have seminars that are cool. They're a few hours long. You can hop in and learn that way. But there's something different about a multi-day camp, right? Being able to learn for days on end, do matches, get work picked apart, come back the next day, refine that work, and over the course of 3 or 4 days, being able to really walk out as a better wrestler. So I loved that concept when I first broke in, and I learned tremendously from all those camps that I did. And I was thinking, what if we took that camp mindset where guys can come, girls too, and learn and become better wrestlers, but at the same time, um, implement, walk of faith into it, right? And not so much any true church position, not pushing any specific thing on anybody, but that relationship with Jesus, right? Just coming alongside and trying to grow uh, that with Him, right? And just becoming stronger, better Christians for those that have already started that walk of faith, right? To be able to show up at events, be a little more confident in having those conversations and a little more focused in on it. And then also for those, because we had plenty last year come to the camp that are not followers of Jesus, right? Just they show up with an open mind, be respectful, and maybe just understand a little bit about what that might could look like for you. So that's all we asked. And so I took that concept, applied it, and we did it last year, and it was awesome. It was so rewarding. We did it last April, so about a year ago, in Kingsport, Tennessee, and we had 20 something at the end of it all over the course of the 3 days. from all over the United States, and talent from South Africa, and talent from British Columbia. Just come, learn, grow, laugh, cry.
Yeah.
Man, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever had in my life. And the wrestling was great. We did training, and we started each day off with a message and prayers offered, throughout the camp. And if you need to talk to somebody too, that's available there too. So did that, and then we ran an event with it. And at the event, everybody from the camp wrestled. And at the end of the night, had George South give his testimony. And I don't know if you've been around George too much, but man, George has such a powerful story, wonderful testimony. Um, in addition to the 50 years he's wrestled everybody on God's green earth in this crazy business.
Even me.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it just, and at the end of the night, right, we drew a little crowd. We didn't promote the show heavy as much as we did the camp itself, but we had a good little house and over 20 saved at the end of the night,
Wow.
and I was having a conversation with my buddy who's pastor of church I go to, right? And he's like, 20 saves. There's churches that would kill for that in a year.
Wow.
And so it opened my eyes to like, man, wrestling, as much as people can look down on it from certain points of view, it is an opportunity to reach so many people who would not ever normally step foot, number one, in a church, or maybe people who have been church hurt, pushed away to a degree. The other thing is you have all walks of life, man. We have homeless people that will spend every penny they have to buy tickets to come to an event. While at the same time, in that same building, maybe in the locker room, you have multi-million-dollar people doing sponsorship or promoting, whatever that may look like. You have people just from every little walk of life that you can touch and reach. And there's an opportunity for ministry work um, that I'm wanting to capitalize on to a degree. And I last year was really good, and I think this year we're just trying to learn what we kind of like you were saying, learn what we did, good, bad, whatever, maybe last year, and try to clean it up a little bit this year. So yeah, just learning, growing, pushing forward.
Yeah. And you've already really touched upon this a lot, but I just want to ask the question just so maybe it might give you even more of opportunity to kind of flesh out the answer. But like, why wrestle for the kingdom?
Mm.
Why put this event together and get? I mean, it's like I just want to say from just my personal experience as a wrestler, I don't see too many camps being offered anymore. It's
Right.
almost like
Yeah.
it's like we can't work shows during the week because we all got shooters now. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we can't go away on a camp for
Yeah.
more than the weekend. So, but yeah. So just if you want to touch upon it more, why does this event? Uh, why did this come together? Maybe how did this specific group of clinicians and instructors come together? What? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned how the camp thing when I was first breaking in, it literally changed my life from a wrestling perspective. And one of the people I grew up training under Dr. Tom, that's who broke me in the business, Dr. Tom Pritchard. And um, there's a certain amount of respect that you learn, right? Just from training under guys like Tom. And then I was fortunate enough to travel with Rock and Roll Express and Bobby Eaton and some others and learn from those guys. But then the camps I started doing with like Harley Race's group, and then Les Thatcher would run those. I really started connecting with Les. Les Thatcher is one of the best minds in this business in terms of treating it like a sport. And don't get me wrong, I understand there are different flavors of wrestling for everybody. There's different mindsets and approaches, right? And um, at the end of the day, I think there is that little bit of something for everybody, and that's cool. But me and Les connect on our mentality around the business and trying to treat it as legitimate as possible and make it look as legitimate as possible. And that goes back into a lot of the talent that he's helped craft and create and have a hand in over the years. Guys that are just really intense. B.J. Whitmer, Nigel McGuinness, uh, guys, Moxley. You got them, tons of them that are just really solid talent in ring. And so having Les be our forefront just from a wrestling training perspective, I think is a cool opportunity. I love having the chance to still pick his brain. I mean, even last year, he doesn't treat me any different than he does the rest of the crew, right? And still grinding my gears about placement, footsteps, cardio. And it's good to have that challenge every once in a while, right? And so then I was, we're fleshing out the rest of the trainers, right, and the rest of the group, and really focusing in on the ministry perspective as well as just in ring. And so, I'm assisting with that, and then George South, who has helped create some of the wonderful talent you see on TV today, a lot of WWE talent, a lot of TNA guys, AEW too, just, and then he has that powerful testimony, right? And his walk in faith is really strong, and he's not ashamed of it. So having him help lead the charge there is always great. And then Chance Prophet and Brad Thomas, two guys from West Virginia who have really been amazing wrestlers over the years. Chance, still heavily active in wrestling, travels all over the United States, travels Mexico, did a lot for NWA over many years. Wonderful, wonderful person, very strong in his faith. Excellent teacher, excellent speaker. Brad Thomas, one of the best baby faces, and I'm biased, but one of the best baby faces I've ever been in the ring with. I've wrestled Brad all over the country. I've wrestled him all over Canada. And we've been able to create a lot. But he's not really active in wrestling anymore outside of some one-offs here and there like this. But he has an excellent mindset for the business, and then he's also in ministry, so he's a full-time preacher. So it's he's bringing that aspect into the mix. And then this year we added um, Devin Shooter, who was one of the camp attendees last year, flew himself down from British Columbia, really strong in his faith, excellent. I'm telling you, he's so solid in the ring. One of my favorite people that I've shared the ring with, and um, such a wonderful mind, good heart too. And we've rounded out this group of guys with over altogether, right, 200 plus years of experience in wrestling, and just to be able to help the talent attending improve their craft, clean up their work overall, learn how to communicate a little better in and out of the ring, and then also just strengthen their walk with Jesus, their walk in faith. And I think we have created a crew here that I'm very happy with. And there's others too, that I've talked to that I would love to get mixed in the future. I've had conversations with my buddy Nikita Koloff. Nikita messages me every morning to just check in on me, see how I'm doing. And 8-year-old me would have died just thinking about Nikita texting me every morning. But there's some wonderful other guys that I want to get mixed in the future. But for this camp this year, we've got a really solid lineup of crew. And we've got a wonderful lineup of talent that's coming in to apply themselves as well. One of the things we were focusing on this year, one of the changes that we made last year, we did the event side of things on our own, which was fine. But this year, Tony Givens, who has opened so many doors of opportunity for me for the last 20 years, has come through, and he's connecting us with his Innovate Wrestling group. And we're going to be running an Innovate Wrestling event, and the guys and girls that attend the camp are going to be able to perform on the Innovate card if they choose to. No pressure, but if they choose to. And so it's an opportunity to not only learn and grow in the camp, but also to get that foot in the door at that next level, right? Because Innovate's been around forever. One of the top companies, independent wise, in the country, in my opinion. So just happy to have that connection as well, and just another stepping stone building up.
Yeah. Just from personal experience can say that Chance is like responsible for some of the best talent coming out of West Virginia right now. Him and Jason Kincaid at the Power Slam Academy are just like they're creating some real, just killer performers, athletes, people
Yeah,
just
they are.
absolutely love Power Slam Academy and Chance Prophet. Just super blessed to have been able to share the locker room and the ring with George South. I mean, like, I think,
George is great. So funny. So good.
can't even, that's a whole other podcast on its own. But just would love to, if you have any kind of testimonies you'd like to share from the last experience, and just how looking, like, just tell us more about how we plan to just create a positive environment for fellowship, and
Yeah. Yeah.
just like, I mean, couldn't ask for a better group of people, couldn't ask for stronger leadership in and out of the ring. And just, I can speak from my own personal experience. Like, Chance is such an amazing instructor between the ropes, but also is just like such a, I'm super blessed to have been able to sit under his learning tree in both wrestling and in my faith.
Yeah.
And I'm just super thankful for his openness and his, willingness to share and minister and all that stuff. So
Let me tell you about what Chance did last year. So we started Friday morning, trained all day Friday, right? Saturday morning, woke up, started training all day. Partway through the day, I saw Chance go outside of the building that we were training in. And man, I saw Chance going through a pretty rough moment. And I noticed out of the corner of my eye. So I went out there and talked to him. And he had just got the phone call that his father was passing away. His father was dying. And right then, right there. And that was rough.
yeah.
But I said, Chance, of course you got to go. Do you want to say goodbye to the guys, girls in here first, or do you want to head out? I'll help. Do whatever you need to do. He said, no, we need to go back inside. So I said, okay. So we went back inside. I told everybody, I stopped training, told everybody what was going on. The room, everybody prayed for the situation right then, right there. Chance was broken, understandably, but he took that moment to tell everybody there that what they were doing that weekend, man, what it meant, right? And just what they were investing in themselves and being able to learn and grow from it, how important it was. So he took that moment, and he also talked about how we're not guaranteed to another minute. He took that moment that could have been the darkest moment of his life, right? And he used it to push guys, girls harder, and push them to be closer and to think about their walk in faith and their relationship with Jesus, and just the training and the impact that the wrestling, the connections, the all of it can have, and all the impact it can have on the kingdom. And I have traveled the world. I have been in tons of churches and seen wonderful speakers over the years. I have never been in a moment that real, where somebody's taken a real situation and using it to uplift the kingdom and push towards growth. And that's Chance, man. That's Chance Prophet. So I don't want moments like that. I want moments like that again this year. I don't want moments like that again this year, right?
Yeah.
that there's no topping that though, man. That was something special, and there was not. George South will tell you, there's not a dry eye in that building, and you could just you could feel that moment. You could feel God moving, and even those um, that aren't believers that were attending, right? They knew something was going on. They felt it too,
Mhm.
and so it doesn't get much better than that out of something terrible. But man, powerful.
Yeah. I mean, just in an effort to try to put any kind of bow on that powerful story, like I've had to learn. I'm only 24, but fortunately been able to learn that God loves to use people that you don't like to teach you stuff. And he
Yeah,
certainly does like to use maybe, only he can make what he made out of that moment in that moment, and blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Chance and all the other clinicians, even the ones that I haven't had the pleasure to meet yet, are just, I'm sure they're all just masters of their craft, and just I've looked forward to hopefully getting the opportunity to attend this year.
yeah. Come on.
And yeah, I just I mean, I don't think you can top that. I think this is a good place to
No,
kind of wrap it up.
it is, man. I tell you, I'd love to have you down as always, and I'm pestering everybody about signing up. We have so many spots we can do, but we're there at Net Pro Studios in Kingsport. Dan Jones, who owns that building, he's created a wonderful training environment, a wonderful environment to run events and things too. And we're using that. It's April 11th through 13th, 3 straight days of great training. There's the Innovate show the evening of the April the 12th after the training for that day, and the guys that attend will get to do it. Everybody attending, where we try to provide food and stuff for like lunch and such to help with the training, um, make it a little easier for the guys and girls. And we'd love to have you. It's $200 for the weekend. Um, that's a pretty solid deal. Just being honest, for 3 straight days of training and the feedback and stuff you get. Um, and on that note too, I last year I didn't take any money from this. Matter of fact, we lost money just because we invested so much, even with 20 something people. The only money, I pay Les Thatcher for his time, just out of respect for what he's giving to the business and to this. We use a little bit for things like the hotels and the food for the talent. Um, Anything that would go above and beyond is given to charity or church that connects with the event. Last year, we linked up with a recovery effort that helps the area there with people who are going through addiction challenges and stuff like that. So we took the ticket money last year from the event for that, and this year Tony hadn't announced it yet, but I think he's linking up with something similar for his church or something for the actual event funds to go towards. But anything from the camp, it's going straight into the camp, and there's no messing around on that front. But yeah, we'd love to have anybody and everybody, and it's open to all. You don't have to be a believer. Just ask that if you are, you come in ready to learn and ready to grow in your faith. And we'll challenge you a little bit on that. If you are not a believer, we ask you to just come, just be respectful, have open ears, open mind, open heart, and nothing's going to be forced on you. But we hope some lives will be changed as well for those that maybe haven't started that journey yet. And we just Jesus calls on us to love everybody. This world can be crazy, and there's various things we're always going to have disagreements on and bicker and such about. But I think there is a middle ground, and we can definitely love people, right? And we can and try to meet them where they're at. And none of us are perfect. We're all broken. We're all sinners. There's not one of us that are better than one another. And so I think just coming together in a spirit of faith with that, trying to build and grow and be deliverers of the good news to the best of our abilities. That's what
Mhm.
we're aiming to do here. So yeah, wrestlingforthekingdom.com. That takes you to the Facebook page, but I post the link all the time for the sign up registration and stuff. happy to have anybody and everybody that wants to come. All experience too. We've got a couple guys that are coming in that are brand new to wrestling, still trying to kind of scratch the surface there. And then we've got guys that have been wrestling for, 40 years, like George. So it's all over the place. We just want everybody to learn and grow.
Yeah, that's about as well as anybody could have put it. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for putting on this event. And
thank you.
And I just know that dude, just thank you for sharing your powerful story and just stepping out in faith to put on this event. I mean, I know that it's got to come with its own encumberment,
I'm best known for being a heat seeker.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tag name, right?
Yeah. So, well, I'm trying to think of a scripture. There's something said about a great reward, or I'm trying to flip through the Rolodex and get to it, but I'm sure it'll come to me after. And if I find it, it'll pop up on the screen right here.
Hey, we could post it on a comment or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm best known for being a heat seeker, and quite honestly, because that's the tag name I'm in, and quite honestly, that's something that I'm willing to take to be true. Yeah. I get a lot of heat for faith-related things in this business, a lot of grief, and that's okay. There's people who have shared their faith that have had it a lot worse than me, right? I could be one of the ones that are put to death for it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think just a little bit of online comments and some throwing shade here and there. If I can't handle that, then I need to just wrap it up.
Yeah, tackle, drop down, quit the business,
brother. Straight up.
But man, dude, thanks again for your time. Thank y'all for listening. WrestleForTheKingdom.com, $200. If you remind us of the dates again, and just tell us where we can find Matt Sigmund on social media, and then we'll just be done with it.
April 11th through the 13th, Friday through Sunday in Kingsport, Tennessee at Net Pro Studios, a wonderful training facility there. And it is, like I said, $200, WrestlingForTheKingdom.com, and you can find me at all my social media at Sigmund Wrestling. I'm pretty much across the board: Instagram, X, Facebook, all that mess. So.
Show Elliot some love too. Elliot deserves love on social.
Brother, we gotta love everybody. Tell us too.
Love people. Wrestle for the Kingdom. Thanks for listening. Thank you all for your time. Go out and love your neighbor. All that good stuff. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, bro.